Hey guys, Ash here coming at you today in Etheria Restart. Welcome to the video. Send us some love, some positive vibes your way, especially if you need them out there today. Hey guys, guess what? No big deal. Your boy's almost level 100. I feel like it's a pretty decent milestone. I don't know about you guys. I don't know. What level are you guys? I remember when I started this game in my inbox or my in-game DMs, I had like level 100s hitting me up and I'm like, ooh, a level 100 wants to talk to me? Anyway, I don't know why I'm mentioning all this today. I just want to talk about my number one mistake in the game. That's all I want to do with you guys. By the way, this is a sponsored video and a sponsored channel. So thank you to Etheria Restart for making that happen. That being said, I do have a bit of a critical video that I have to upload and hopefully not jeopardize my sponsorship maybe tomorrow coming. It does tie in loosely to the theme, I want to say, of my number one mistake. And my number one mistake, I'm honestly ashamed to admit it because some of you level 100s actually warned me about it during my first week of playing. And I threw caution to the wind thinking I could, frankly, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. It's embarrassing, but it's true. I thought I could buy my way out of this problem, this mistake. And it turns out you can't. I couldn't. I can't. So what is it? It just has to do with lattices, right? Yeah, surprise, surprise. And of course, that's going to tie into the next video, a little rant video, right? It's actually not a rant. It's more of a, I want this game to succeed, so I want to give some critical feedback. But it starts with me, because I started with these mistakes, and I only have myself to blame. And that is my lattice decisions early on. I went lattice crazy, right? Legendary skill tomes coming from Raid, non-Raiders, I apologize. But I went nuts. I went nuts thinking, again, hey, you know what? When they appear in the shop, if I need them, I'll buy them later on, right? I didn't know they don't really appear in the shop that often anyway, right? So I didn't put much thought into lattices, right? First of all, of course, I noticed the stats that you get along the way on top, between the lattices, of course. But in the very beginning, I honestly missed that every animus has some speed, like 15 speed in a game where speed is everything. I should have notated that at the very least a little bit earlier. It took me embarrassingly long time to actually notice that, right, as a brand new player. That being said, that's not really the main mistake here. And it's not even necessarily the animuses that I decided to invest in with my lattices, right? I maxed out Hellkid. Do I have him totally maxed here? No, but I maxed out his third skill, almost his second skill. Well, I'm waiting on the cooldown there. I don't know, man. I should just go for it, right, at this point. And I didn't max out his first skill. But listen, I'm coming from Raid Shadow Legends, right? Raid Shadow Legends, general rule of thumb, legendaries. Well, I shouldn't say legendary skill tome. Let me just stick with the theme here, right? But general rule of thumb, the last abilities are the best abilities in Raid, like the A3 and then it goes A2 and then A1. There are exceptions, of course, to that rule, but passives and like the later in the stage, the skill, the more valuable those skills are. So I think it's coming to this game, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to start with the third ability on every animus. I'm just going to start there, kind of blindly. I looked for like some important things, like I was looking for cooldowns. Again, everything that I know from 6 years of playing Raid, I kind of brought that knowledge in, and I made some, I don't know, educated guesses, which ultimately was uneducated guesses, right? Because the truth is, in Etheria Restart, what I didn't know then, and I certainly know now, is skill ones for a lot of animuses, certainly not all, but for a lot, are where you want to start using your lattices. Moreover, it is a pretty good idea. You don't want to go overboard and become an ultra hoarder, right? You don't want to end up on the TV show, but it is a pretty good idea to hoard a little bit, because versus just going in on an animus that you're not 100% sure is going to change your account, right? I wish that, I know they gave these resets early on where you can pull all the resource out of animuses, but I don't think they've been doing that recently. Correct me if I'm wrong, but man, I wish they had some of that at least where you could pull out your lattices, because I would make some massive decisions now with knowing what I know now a month and a half into the game versus the first week or two of the game, you know, in terms of the animuses that I invested in. But I had to share, I mean, hopefully you guys are already aware of this website. I actually met the owners of the website. They seem like really cool dudes. Certainly dedicated and know the game very well, but it is pridewin.gg, okay? I'll link it for you guys in the pinned comment and in the description of this video. Odds are you're familiar, but you might not be familiar. Let's just go to Hellkid to keep things, you know, I don't even know what it's going to say here. But you might not be familiar with how much info they give you on this website. It's absolutely insane. They do a hell of a job. I mean, honestly, anything that you need to know from module priorities, shell priorities, different considerations, right? Hey, hey, you might, what I like about it, what they do here on this is they give you the stats, they give you the basics, they give you opinion. It's very clear when you're looking at opinion versus fact, right? But they also give you a bunch of recommendations, you know? That what they really do, in my opinion, is they don't just give you tiers, they give you a review, they give you a pros and cons on every single animus, which I really, really enjoy, right? So like pros and cons, I've already read this, I'm not gonna read it for Hellkid, but really awesome, right? Because if you're anything like me, you're kind of on the cusp sometimes. Who do I invest in next, right? Sure, you can just go to tier rankings. Hey, I'm working on Doki Doki, I'm gonna go for this animus or whatever, right? I'm working on Terra, I'm gonna go this animus. But that's ultimately not enough, because you really need to understand kind of the strategic depth and what they bring to the table every animus beyond just a tier ranking. Meaning you could be investing in an animus who's actually redundant with what you already have on your main team, right? So what I love is you also go into the build. I was sticking with reviews early on the website, but man, I wish I just did one stupid damn thing differently in this game. And I wish I went into the build section here. I wish I went down the best shells. They give you recommendations why you would want to use these shells. Really cool, right? But it's just so simple, so freaking simple, right? They give you shell recommendations, they give you shell stats, but all the way down at the bottom of the build section, they give you a skill priority. There it is. So on this one, I actually didn't go that off the beaten path. I should have gone skill 1 after skill 3. But for every animus in the game, they're just going to straight up tell you, start with skill 5. And then start with level 5 on skill 3, excuse me. Level 5 on skill 1 and level 5 on skill 2. Those are the priorities. So freaking important. And again, coming from Raid, you can't even decide where your tomes or skills or lattices in Raid, you can't even decide where they go. So this is new for me, having the autonomy to pick, you know, the ability that I want to put my lattices in. And I screwed it up, right? I just went with all the skill 3s. I should have went with a lot of 1s. So there it is, guys. I can make this video 20 minutes rambling on, as you guys all very well know. But I really just wanted to make this video, especially to, you know, shout out the website, especially for new players out there. Again, I have a download link. If you're starting the game now, you're starting with a massive heads up over yours truly, because I should have been doing this a long time ago. I made this mistake on so many animuses on my account. I have so many animuses that, like, look at, for example, just another last example is Kloss, right? Kloss, I didn't even know that she's an animus. If I had read the review and the build, I would have known she's an animus you can use without any lattices, right? Very effectively. But what did I do? I blew like 7 on her or whatever, you know? And I probably put him in the wrong damn skills, you know? So anyway, needed to make this video. Super important. Still enjoying the game. But yeah, we will have a little bit of we'll continue the lattice conversation on tomorrow's video. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Thanks to Etheria for sponsoring today's video as well. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.